NIKKE, we got us a victory. First things I want to say is happy 1-year anniversary, and secondly, this has been a fun game that I've been playing for the past year. I've never not liked playing the game. It did get boring for a little bit because it was just stale. I couldn't progress in the story. But other than that, it has been a fun game. Story has been intriguing, and it's one of my top games that I have played in my entire gaming career. How I figured out about NIKKE being a game. It wasn't by their teasers or trailers that they have released throughout that whole year before the game launched. It was actually through YouTube ads about mid-October of last year. I wouldn't want to download it because I'm not going to play it. It's just a stupid anime game. Well, about just randomly one day, my mind switched, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. They're advertising it this much. Might as well just pre-order it, see what the game is like, see if it's something I'm actually going to get interested to or not. But then I pre-order it, forget about it, and then when it releases November 4th, I get a notification one day after football practice saying NIKKE has been successfully downloaded. I'm like, oh my god, this game, I completely forgot about it. Go to download it, the download's 4 gigabytes big, and I was on an old iPhone, and it downloaded very slowly. So then, I downloaded it the first day, which was the day before it officially released to the public, and then I just didn't play it till the weekend, so it would have been that Friday. And after that Friday, it went through one of the saddest deaths in my gaming history. And no, it wasn't fun. But this game has created so many good memories itself that I just kept on playing it. And there's many reasons why I got it at first, but now anymore, the main reason is just the story. Because the story is such a good aspect of a post-apocalyptic world. Now this next part might bring back nostalgic memories for the OGs who haven't relived this experience in a while, and even for new players who have at least gone through the first few chapters of the story. But you start off the story as soon as you finish updating and downloading all the resources you need. You start off the game in a transport ship. It then blows up, it's crashed, and then a figure comes over and rushes to perform AED on you, the commander who is fresh out of commanding school. This is your very first deployment mission. She then fends off the remaining foes, or raptures, which are the alien machine life forms that have invaded Earth and have almost completely wiped out humanity. And then she greets herself. Her name is Marian, and she is a NIKKE. NIKKEs are humanoid soldiers who were created by humans to help defeat the raptures. She then picks up a rendezvous signal for any remaining squads alive. You go with Marian and find that only 2 other NIKKEs have survived that are more high-tech. There's still a little bit of mass-produced NIKKEs still left, but for the most part, the important ones are Rappy, which is a more commando type unit that sticks to the mission, doesn't really like messing off or messing around, and sometimes can be very strict. And then there's Anise, which is a more chilled back, relaxed NIKKE that messes around a lot, but will also listen to what needs to get done. And then as you wait and search the remaining area for the rendezvous signal, see if there's anyone else still alive, Marian starts to act weird in a way. Like, she doesn't seem well. And then you get a call from Shifty, which is your call-in operator that helps support you throughout your missions. She then exposes that Marian, the one that has saved you and cared for you throughout the first chapters, has been corrupted by the Raptures, which is basically just a virus that gets implanted into the brain by the Raptures. But somehow she was able to overcome the corruption when she saw the commander almost dead on the ground. Because NIKKE's duty is to protect the commander at all costs and to keep them alive, or else they can get in big trouble for it. Then, all of a sudden, she starts repeating, "Over here," multiple times. Her eyes are now turning red, and then, as you, Rappy, and Anise approach Marian, tentacles reach out of a building and pretty much absorb her into the tyrant glass rapture known as Blacksmith. The commander, Rappy, and Anise, along with a few mass-produced NIKKEs, help defeat the tyrant class rapture and check the remains for any surviving NIKKEs who have been attacked and absorbed by Blacksmith, along with Marian. And then there is a video that plays after you defeat Blacksmith. That video will play here shortly. You can skip it, it's 3 minutes long, but only skip it if you want. You can watch the whole video if you want to.
Considering there was only a 12.4% of success, I'd say that was a job well done.
I'll check the survivors. No survivors from the Vanguard. All the parts have been ransacked.
What about Marian?
Still alive.
Over... here. Here. This is bad. Her brain has already been corrupted. We all know the rules. Any NIKKE who has sustained brain damage is to be disposed of. According to the law, the execution must be carried out by the commander.
This pistol is for when we must self-terminate. Humans can use them as well. Just get in close.
Perhaps I should do it?
No. We NIKKEs cannot execute our own kind. No time to hesitate, Commander. If we don't get this done, she will probably become an irregular soon. Commander!
Over here, Commander. Commander. Thank you for your bandage.
No signs of life.
Official confirmation of death. Our investigation mission is complete. Head back to the Ark. Damn it!
After Marian's execution, you, Rappy, and Anise go down to the Ark through an elevator. Rappy, we see a scene with Rappy, and she's talking to Shifty, and is revealed she starts questioning about Marian, saying how the transport ship was blown up from the inside, which means it had to have been hacked from within the Ark. Rappy then questions whether Marian was hacked within the Ark or if she was corrupted on the surface. Shifty doesn't know, and this is like the main goal the commander goes to find out. You go down, you talk to Commander Chief Executive Anderson. You question him. He's not too happy that you're asserting him and you're only a rookie commander, seeming like the boss. And then he sends you off to another mission to a power station. When you arrive to the elevator to get up to the surface, you're greeted with another NIKKE. Her name is Neon. She has a similar persona to Anise. And when she greets, she says she is secretly a spy since she is to report back to her manufacturer, the leader of the company Elysian, which is what she is a part of. And you go through to the power station, and then you're forced to blow it up because it is surrounded by raptors. Rappy's head blows off, and you're forced to retreat back. Upon arrival, you're reported to see Anderson almost immediately. It is then revealed that since what you did was not part of the mission, and that since you broke the mission rules, you are then sent to a place called the Outpost. This is your FOB for the remainder of the story. Then Suen comes along, and she is a buttload. She just bosses you around. She forces you to go do a mission for her, and there's nothing you can do because she is one of the big three, one of the leaders of the big manufacturing companies behind the NIKKEs. She is the leader of Missilis. And then she pretty much assigns you to attack or capture a rapture by the name of Chatterbox with your squad. Your squad name is now Counters, and the squad that she has supported to you, or she assigns to help you with the mission. Since you have no choice but to accept the mission, you go do that. But before that, Rappy comes back fully repaired since she is a humanoid. Her head was contained and she is able to get repaired. She then wants to talk to you alone, wondering what you see them as NIKKEs, whether you see them as war machines or something else. This is when the story can split off. You can choose your two different paths. I can't remember the paths, but if you see them as robots, I don't know how she reacts. I can't remember, but there's different choices you can choose between them. Anywho, you go off into the mission field. You run into Chatterbox unknowingly, and he wraps his tail around you and shatters your leg. Your squad Counters and the squad that Suen has provided you fend off Chatterbox, but it's no use because he has he can regenerate himself, basically. Then out of nowhere, an unknown NIKKE comes along. She isn't part of anyone's squad. She just appears out of nowhere. And she basically fends off Chatterbox by herself. And Chatterbox runs away. She then disappears before you get to know her name. But then, she then she goes away before you're able to get to know her name, and then your squad calls for evac. When you do that, you are severely outnumbered by raptors. There's at least 400 within 100 yards of your location. And because of the damage sustained within the encounter with Chatterbox, it's almost just a death sentence, because you cannot fend off 400 on a severely injured team. Then a helicopter comes along for evac, and it deploys a squad that Rappy used to go with, and they kill off all the raptors with ease. And then you guys evacuate, you go back to the Ark, and then you go to the hospital for your leg, and you're then given an exoskeleton for that leg. And then Anderson gives you another mission to go to the Arctic to try and find that mysterious NIKKE that you had encountered earlier, or find information on them and their type and what their purpose is on the surface. So the important chapters, in my opinion, are 5 through 7. They reveal a lot about the story within it, and I feel like most of the chapters after 7 just build up to like 12. And then after 12, it just seems like everything after is just slow paced. There isn't much to what the first 7 chapters kind of like lead up and build up to. But anyways, you start off chapter 5 at a Arctic wasteland, basically. And you are sent out to task to find a research center to help and get any information on Snow White in the picture above, or shown, and the Pilgrims, which is her manufacturer type. She isn't classified under any. And as you are out and about, a snowstorm blows in, and it almost makes visibility none. You are then ambushed by raptors while you think it's safe, and one manages to self-terminate itself. While doing that, it causes an avalanche to fall over you and your squad, the Counters, and you are then engulfed after Rappy tries to reach you to protect you, basically, because that's their duty. Anyways, you are then woken up by more NIKKEs who have warmed you, taken care of you. Except these are not your squad. These are 2 NIKKEs who live in the Arctic wasteland, and their goal is to send missing NIKKEs back home to the Ark. And they help you go out and find your missing squad. You find your squad, everybody's rejoiced to be meeting. They happen to know, the 2 NIKKEs you came across happen to know where the research base is. They go there. You guys defeat any raptors that are surrounding the base, and you get the information needed on Snow White and the Pilgrims. You figure it out that the Pilgrims were abandoned by the Ark. Actually, I can't remember if you find that out in this chapter or if it's later on. Anyways, they were abandoned by the Ark, and they're just free roam Nikkes who just take out wherever they want, whenever they want. Anyways, you go through, and the research base is just one big rapture. So then you're forced to pretty much destroy the research base because it's a rapture. It's starting to attack you now. As you figure out one of the Nikke's like patrol routes that they kind of just take, and that's what's been analyzed, you come across Chatterbox again. And as you encounter Chatterbox, the mysterious Nikke from the original encounter shows up, and she basically almost eliminates Chatterbox. Like, he's wheezing, he's coughing, barely walk, barely talk. And then, all of a sudden, a rapture like Nikke comes down to help assist Chatterbox or help care for him. While doing so, Snow White informs you that she is a heretic who has betrayed a heretic, which is a Nikke who has betrayed humanity and has joined forces with the Raptors to help take down humanity. Right after Snow White is taken down, because the heretic blasts her, damaging her, so Snow White is taken down, and then you pick up her anti-rapture rifle that she carries along with her, and you shoot it. As you... Hold up. Okay, the script is off. Okay. So you shoot her, and then your squad counters, like, pretty much attack her, and she is not liking it. So then you defeat her, and then she's crashed. You get up to her, you blow like her mask off because she's wearing a mask, and then only to realize that she resembles a lot like Marian. She looks a lot like Marian. And you ask if she's Marian, and she's like, "I'm not Marian, I'm Modernia, a servant of the Queen," which is the leader of the Raptures. As you keep on bringing up Marian, she then begins to realize that she is Marian. Her mind starts to come back to what it was in the tutorial. She recognizes you. She recognizes Anise and Rappy. But while doing that, she begins to tremble, and black light starts to emit from her body. And then, once she's fully remembered her past self, she gets engulfed in this black light and then pretty much implodes, leaving everyone nearby severely injured. You shelter down in a broken down bunker, and then give Snow White your exoskeleton to go out and call for help for evacuation. Time passes by, and it seems like Snow White has betrayed you, like the Ark has betrayed them. And your body temp declines and declines until you pass out. You wake up in the Ark, in the hospital, only to be awarded with a month's vacation from Chief Commander Anderson, and are awarded exemption from any missions given from the Big Three. You are also praised as the only commander in the entire Ark's history to interact with the Heretics, Chatterbox, and the Pilgrims all in one mission. I feel like anything after this just builds up to 12, which basically the Ark calls all-out war to Raptures and the Heretics. You go through And the whole point is to reharness that power that you did with Modernia. And then basically you find this material called Vaphouse, which can remove a nymph in a NIKKE's brain, which basically allows it to not get corrupted, and it lets the NIKKE have free will over itself. It can't really be controlled by humans or what's been implanted in them by humans, so they can't act wildly. Anyway, you go back through, you take down Modernia again, but she is more prepared this time. She remembers you and your squad. And you tried it the same trick as you did when you first encountered her in the Arctic. She tries to trick you into thinking that her memory is back. This doesn't work. And she gets angry and pierces you in the stomach with a tentacle made out of material H, which can basically absorb a NIKKE's nymph and matter into itself. But not only she stabs you, but she also stabs Rappy in the stomach. As you get stabbed, Rappy activates an ability that she's been hiding called Red Hood, which pretty much allows her body to become the strongest thing on Earth. And she rips the tentacle out of her stomach, throws it at Modernia, pretty much weakening her, and then her mind fixes back to Marian, actually this time, and it's not a trick. And then she starts swivel arm first aid, like she did in the tutorial right away, on you. You get patched up, but you need to go back to the Ark almost immediately because you were just pierced in the stomach. You're gonna be severely wounded. You're gonna be losing a lot of blood, pretty much. Then, as that happens, Snow White, which had control of Chatterbox to destroy Chatterbox for once and for all, comes flying in from the air, and basically what happens then, Chatterbox, it's basically just his head at this point. It comes crashing down, and he pretty much corrupts Modernia again, or Marian again. Anise then gets mad at Snow White for not taking care of Chatterbox, and is mad that we basically cured Marian, she was back, and then you lost her again. You bring Marian back to the Ark with everyone else. War is over, and you are forced to make a choice. Either you choose to do a neural wipe, which will pretty much reset the brain to what it would be like of a newborn baby, or you send her off peacefully, which means you just send her off in the open, corrupted. You choose to do the neural wipe, and then you sit in the hospital, and then you choose to go back to the outpost once you are able to. A few days go by, and then Marian is then dropped off at the outpost, and is ready to rejoin your squad once again. After this, the story kind of gets boring. You basically go through, teach Marian all of her life functions as a NIKKE again. Basically just teaching her functions of life. Then you go on your first mission. You guys are wanted due to the actions caused by Marian on that mission. Since she still has a childlike brain, she doesn't think maturely. So then she goes off, does stuff that she isn't supposed to, then she is wanted. Basically, you and your squad are then wanted by the ARC, the central government of the ARC. Then you're forced to pretty much give her off to the pilgrims, or else the hunting will never end by bounty hunters. And then you're sent back out for another mission after sending her off to the pilgrims, which is basically to go collect a treasure to help repay all the damages caused to the outpost from the hunters. And then you're sent out with Suin. You're sent out by Suin for another mission with another one of her squads. This is a bad squad, a squad you do not want to be paired up with. And they turn on the commander, shoot him, and leave him to die. And they pretty much suppress your squad so they can't act against them to protect you. But then another pilgrim, Rapunzel, she comes by, kind of helps heal you, and you're brought to Eden, which is just a place that the original pilgrims come by to meet once every month to make sure they're all alive and well. You then learn the truth about Maphouse, what it contains, what it's made of, and that it can't be replicated. And you go back to the Ark hesitantly of what's gonna happen, but you still return to the Ark. That's where I cut off. Again, the story, it's just not it. It takes forever to go through after 13, really. And I'm still working on 18. I haven't gone through the first level yet because I need to level up. But so far that is that. And I hope that NIKKE can continue to bring more memories in the next years to come. And I hope that I can stay the game that it is now. It's a perfect game for anyone with the same interest as me. And many people think I like this game because it's anime and they're anime girls. No. The story intrigued me into it, and it's intrigued me since a year ago today. And that's the one thing that amazes me most about NIKKE.
Smoke and fear. Can we stay in the holy land? Indestructible grace of crush 'em, this is our fate. Remember that's our calling.